tuni Emma NDC Amanyo Kuno going into the 2020 elections. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and already as announced, the ceremony that said the can kind of. I drench any Susiani, the woman who flew star. Now, Abra, mo share on Facebook Live, no. Bomma, Jumedie, ending to have a beer, what gonna be out, Bianti and Casse, BBC, and Air Cosmo, TVXYZ, and a face to Power 97.9. Akina FM4 fire, Sansa Pure FM4 fire, Oko a year. A TV Mantemon, so minim say Zebla FM4 fire den to baby will be a woti and kabia, Yabamuninache, Emma Makwaba, a breno, and yaso. But as TV station, emerging TV station of the year 2020 and 2021, airport, na yakosa, Yadebe Kwa Yadimusado. Yenina, Yaward Yusu, Yema, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Akwaba, and a vessel, Mamu Dindi. I'm ready to Professor Zakaba. His Excellency.
Prince, yeah, that's it. Good.
Yeah, what do you I'm sure so. Now, you say, Apamada Kao.
Now, me share, na me share, me name at the cry. And so, catch him say RTP Awards, and I'm sure, and also me bomb abaso. And money Juma. Yes, we are quite to say Ghana Grammy. And Ghana Grammy. That's right.
Now we have you trouble for you with Team Sweden.
Oh, HSM more qua HSM.
Anyway, yeah, same free Bawaba, the Greater Accra region, and we know, sir, you are climaxing your thank you tour after touring the length and breadth of the country with you being here in the Greater Accra region. How would you say, sir, Otono SCI, and for the people within the Greater Accra, what specific message you more anything?
You, I'm say, Meda with Chief Nasi, and then Omo Moshe and Opay, Obia Yachiamo, Yabedru Cropon and Kasa, Ghana Cropon, Greater Accra region. I'm say, Samotea, Yasha, Senate, thank you, Toy. At the Anante 15 regions, and Greater Accra, and the final region, baby. And see, Oma Mutin, Oma Moshe, Yachiamo. Yadin da sense of Mammo. If we say, Nantis, and I say, Dagana Fase.
That's right.
Say 2020 Abatuano. Oma, Omina Mupie, Ombeye Santini. Enya abotre etwen ye ediomo se team abato krata no so etwen me kan bibia no so bia abo ne homoden omo moto abama ye edomo nyina ase omo monto abama ye so yesrenya me se on sacred omadwen na 2024 mo omo to abama NDC senebeya NDC best sanyoma ama ahoto aba Ghana enti say nantese no 15 regions the bibia ekoye say maybe a Kobia, there was very wide coverage, TV, radio, Biana, Obia Shebi, and to be in near course of 15 regions, no, into a finish in Greater Accra. Into Greater Accra, Fonso, Yadamase.
Okay, but within what tour across the 15 regions, Greater Accra by 16 now, main call Greater Accra because I think our Baba Shah said, what's your evaluation of Nyauhunu and the Kafa, the current state of my Ghana?
Oh, what do you mean say? We're in a state of despair. And Crawford era and Crawford so normal because and yet say and a bino a promise here. Before the election, somewhere you be free water, free lights, free power, free day. Now a COVID sikano 11.9 billion and almost spending from March to December. Bebre echo into convincing people. Yes, a small business loan. So Juana Momo pimping Osha 2,000 Ghana. And then we're all paying that back. And she be a finance minister at the budget.
That's right.
Economy now Titia Pansa. Now economy I say it was so resilient. Because I say I'm the vice president kind.
Yeah.
Or say if there's any external shock for 6 months, Ghana will not need any external intervention. And no 2 weeks. COVID, see, within 2 weeks, now Yakwa MFA Kostresika. I mean, what happened to that resilient economy? The economy had no buffers. Until within 2 weeks of a COVID situation, lockdown, now IMF, Nanya IMF na my 1 billion. And a World Bank my 400 million. And a sika made the to stabilization fund, they could $200 million every month. And yanka abayin ni sika biya the baby biya. So it just shows there's a certain culture of lying about things and all that. I just say almost they deceiving Ghana for. And you can see that it has all unraveled. And
I'm sure as we proceed with the interview, we'll get into more of that. But for now, I'm back to the Greater Accra region. And we quite remember, you won the presidential and parliamentary elections in the Greater Accra region. 2020 about 2 years I'm making. What specific a year assembly a bit my culture already what can here, but in CHA and your bonnet. What specific message be a bit my culture more region titru war a choir o make me aboa now what fast so then you could leverage on gains are we make here in the 2020 elections.
Yo, that's a prince. We share 2016 your far presidential MPP winning the difference between your MPP 116,000 votes in 2016. 2020 you done and I winning region by 76,000 votes. We share 2016 na Greater Accra you were 14 seats. 2020 about one you had 6 seats can home they call 20 seats. And you can say Greater Accra, you have majority of seats in Greater Accra. Now, so 2016, now you have 106 seats per our parliament.
Yeah.
And you have 169 seats. Into Greater Accra, they are continuing with 6 extra seats, no? And no, Amaya Apeja Abedru 137. Into Greater Accra, it's and Washer census Greater Accra has become the most populous region in the whole country. And that is because of the capital region, because of migration near the Ebifi Stream, Ebifi Volta, Ebifi Ashanti Memu, Obia Eba to the capital. So it has overtaken Ashanti region as the most populous. And there's just a Greater Accra region as Sombo. And apart from that, being the capital region, you understand, Horne the first port of entry most of the time for any person who comes into this country. And so it is very important that we pay attention to Greater Accra in terms of employment, because a lot of young people are coming here. Because Osha say business and Abibia, Greater Accra takes a big chunk, maybe 70% of total business and industry in Ghana. And Sana Abia Western, Ashanti in the Western, and then maybe Tamale in the northern region. A free time we pay a lot of attention to, especially infrastructure in Greater Accra region, roads, health, and everything. Into infrastructure, the bulk of the infrastructure is in the Greater Accra region because it's a national infrastructure. Who took my Kwabucha, Hina Obefa, won't even call from Tamale Airport, this Oba Kotoka International Airport. And NTCMBA, if we don't expand it, then it means that you have a constraint traveling. Almost 70% of Ghana's imports come through Tamahabo. Until we don't expand the harbor, you understand? But all these are in Greater Accra. Until the bulk of them are in the Greater Accra. And me, I'm not the kind of person who comes and says, "Oh, we've done 4,632 projects in your region." I have a list of the projects we did, and I can read them one by one, item by item.
But per the why a month for Greater Accra region. If you look at the population and housing census, it goes to suggest, look, Greater Accra are very populous, no. Have you been able to? I know you're starting your tour, but you have a firm grip of near Akoswama. If you say why a man penida, have you been able to identify near a year a month for a war region more problem, even with the population and housing census? Does it give you an idea of more aspiration and the point I'll be to my first meet?
Oh, the challenges are plenty. Because of the exponential population growth, housing is a problem. In Ethiopia, some of the rents in Greater Accra are the highest in the whole of the country. Because, to get decent accommodation, you pay through your nose. If you go to Ashanti or Northern, the rents are much lower. And so that's the first thing. Traffic is a problem.
Yeah.
You need to keep expanding the roads. most of the roads that we expanded, the alternative roads we created and all things in 2016, government has to continue with that. But that is not happening. In Ethiopia, there's almost a gridlock in Accra. So, because Kofi at the rush hour time, the traffic gridlock is very serious.
Especially
I know it's a problem. Sanitation is a problem. Because of the number of people. At the time we were leaving office, it was estimated that Greater Accra was generating about, how many? Was it 200,000 tons of garbage a day or something like that? No, 2,000 tons of garbage a day or something like that. And I don't know, I don't remember the exact figure. But that has increased. And if you are not clearing the garbage as regularly as you should, then it piles up. And sometimes we call marketplace why a portal, because for several days the truck has not come to take the skip loader and all that. And sanitation is a problem. Water has become a problem. By the time we left office, Greater Accra had excess water. We added 20 million gallons of water a day. And so at Denta and East Legon, everybody started to get water. And we kept 20 million gallons in reserve. We had a desalination plant to supply Teshie and other places. Today, most places, I was talking to somebody, he says they open our water once a week on Saturdays. And so if you fill the poly tank and it gets short during the week, then you have to order a tanker to bring you water. So problems in there also. And I think the government must sit up because Enyoma and Koyi.
And it's a normal bit of Koyi and Nina Santina Yebeto. And ne eba mo beba be hye mo amanyo fo mo beba be hye ne yegina so na ye de akoto aba. And clearly we saw that in the 2020 elections, 2016 elections about to abes na kwina. But there's one thing I can fa ya bat one hye ho, and you've been strongly criticized. I mean, especially with regards to the conduct of the general elections. I will question a year about a commissar and a quite our fast or year and normal. Already we'll be defending on what catch we are self and I said, look, international observers almost share about one near said the normalcy course. Will be a to say, Bibia Koye, come. Now then, I won't want to ask what two and you see, Mammy Jimenez as well as why the Totozaza Ubrubusa. His Excellency, I did also.
You see, about Wohui say over year assessment of Abattoir a year before, during, and after. And you may see before, and you may see during, and then you may see Abattoir no much you know, you may see a compilation of results near the end. And you may be brave to see it was our election. And me can, and yes, me can electoral commission, but I want to make sure, say, they will continue to be the #1 electoral commission in the whole of Africa, because that is the perception of Ghana's electoral commission. Afaijan Woho and Madam Charlotte say Woho, we've been the leading electoral commission. Because I say me call Liberia as an election monitor. After first round, there was confusion. Because the people bring who polling station one near the other. ECOWAS sent a technical team led by Charlotte Osei to come and sort out the Liberian Electoral Commission's problems. And she came and sorted it out. The runoff, everybody's name was printed at your polling station. Into Udruha, Oshe, Ehunse Udin Waha, and San Wako joining Santino. But in the past, it wasn't there. So people will go here and say, Udiniha, no Akoha, Udiniha, or Brea, or Becca, Zamin to Abanibium. And they sorted it out. You understand? So I'm just saying that everything that I say is to make them sit up. Until I say they must redeem themselves in 2024. And that's what I'm kind.
Absolutely.
So when I'm pointing out their mistakes, it's not because I hate them.
But as you do, they're also asking you to prove with evidence.
So I want an investigation. That's why we said, come in the ballot box. Hey, come in the witness box and come and testify under oath. You said you won't do it. Now I may criticize you. If you had sat in the witness box and would ask you all these questions, what ground will I have to go around? Like I say, you did this or you did that. Your best opportunity, which was taken by your predecessor, if I done 2 days now a witness box, MPP Bissano questions from A to Z about the electoral process. No. And so, who criticized him again?
But as their recent press conference suggests,
I welcome an investigation. Says Anamepe.
Yes.
And if they say they want an investigation, let's have an investigation.
Okay.
But I don't know if the police are the best to. I don't know what the police are going to investigate. We want an independent inquiry, or let's go to ECOWAS. ECOWAS has an electoral body. Let them bring, some people to come and do an investigation into Ghana's election of 2020. I will welcome it. I will testify. Under oath, I will swear an oath and I will testify. I'll run away from the witness box.
I know you, I know you are a communication expert and about body language. Who read the body language?
Yes.
Just a minute, His Excellency. Who read the body language? Just to be able to understand baby will be free by in terms of their worker. When you read the body language of Nano Dr. Bosman Asari Wabra press conference now, does it in any way give you an indication say if a footway ya wootway ne kokoba wubwe a rasupebo?
No, ono de why no so MPP ni. His posturing, his body language, everything. The way he was arguing with me, all kind of more response. No, but I say on the crab na etwe. What I say? Yeah. I mean, the way he was, he has a grudge with me. What I say? And right from the start, this was an existential threat to Ghana's democracy. And he was declaring a stand. You understand? So we have no hope in him. The person we have hope in is Jim Mensah, because she's the chair of the commission. And she bears ultimate responsibility. You understand? We know he's an MPP man. I know he's an MPP man. We know his track record in University of Ghana before he became commissioner. He was an MPP patron. And we don't talk about him. But Jean Mensah is the chair, and she takes ultimate responsibility. What I say? And so she must put her foot down and make sure that the right thing is done. Election
right.
We took a CI to Parliament. The CI had a form, and the form said you must fill in how many people were registered on the biometric register. Why do we have a biometric register if on the pink sheet there is no column for registering how many people presented themselves to vote? But it was deliberate. The form they took to Parliament had a column for registering how many people were registered by the biometric register. The form that they gave us to vote had no column. And we recognized that line. We said, why is there no column for registering biometric register? So we'll rectify it. Then they went and brought a stamp, say, almost stamping. Most of the pink sheets were not stamped. Either they didn't train their people to stamp them, or they deliberately did not stamp them. Some stamped, they didn't write the number of people verified. And so after the election, we have the pink sheets, but we don't have how many people were verified by the biometric register. The biometric registers are in their possession.
Yeah.
Into a court, we're going to ask the court and say that we don't have on all these pink sheets how many people presented themselves to vote because the electoral officers did not record it. And can she give us, because the biometric machines are in their possession, and she knew who asked that question. And that's why she refused to go into the witness box.
I mean, regardless.
That's just one.
Yeah.
Two, after we had printed the ballot papers, in Ghana, we've always printed the ballot papers here. Your printing now agree say the allocation for printing for this printing press has been done. BBR, everything is done. We have a certificate we all sign. Okay. Now you now sign it. Near package BBR near the call. There's no printing again. If there's a need to print, the parties are informed. Near some my agents about. The agent back home refi the BBR kofa. Ya printing we are ya sister your money in our call. They had printed millions of ballot papers again. You say, I don't know printing ballot papers. You say, I printed you see, back home, I'll say, in case of a runoff. Now, in case of a runoff, should I have some, I don't know if it but all the people who stood in the election were on the ballot paper, the ones that they are printed, the ones we found. Runoff here, normally two parties. Yeah. So you cannot have printed the same ballot paper and say in case of a runoff. They couldn't explain. And they said, okay, let's go and ban them. But we have information that it's not only that place where we found it. There were other printing presses that printed extra ballots.
What do you say to Umombeka say? Opportunity by MAO, and I say this, NDC, MAO, say, court, Mubet presented some normal way, even though more explain constantly say, ye see ye, Nanso ya nyasa kwenya no court. A man for ancestors say, Munya opportunity our court, somebody a dancing be better. Said by a man for better say, Monsem na mo cano. no kura bi wo.
We came from the issue of that's why I'm giving you the various scenarios. The next scenario is that declaration of results. No, we've never seen anything like that in this country. If you had Faijan Breso, Faijan Betnasi now or declare a year, it matches to the last column. You can check the results up and down. It will come give you the same AE. Charlotte said the same thing. And so when almost or a mistake. Why were you even rushing to do it if you were going to make a mistake? You must make sure that by the time you go and declare the results, there is no room for any doubt about the results. And so you rushed, went and announced them. There was a problem. You said, oh, there was a mistake. You came and corrected it. They corrected it. So now, if you ask me what the final result of the election is, I can't tell you. Because they corrected it so many times. And then they went and brought these regional tallies. In the regional compilations, there were mistakes in the regional compilations. What do I say? And say, you didn't do a good job. Redeem yourself in 2024. You understand? Start to build the confidence. Why are you an electoral commission? Because of us, the political parties. If the parties were not there, would there be an electoral commission?
So confidence now personal building and say, no,
I'm sure to say we are their enemies. And okay, say yeah, the proposals say, oh, these are proposals for electoral reform. Almost I mean, how can you?
So it just shows those are the barriers that we face, and I say
no, they see us as their enemies. We are ready to engage them.
Okay,
but to say and I say bibi, you understand? And I'm prepared to open a new chapter, and let's make the corrective because it's in the interest of the nation. Say you be holding credible elections. Na obia adia tumu say this is the legitimate and everything. 2016 we had it. There was no problem. Melusi me say, oh yes, my jetum, let's take it that way. I mean, if there were even irregularities, I don't think that they would have been so major that it would have overturned the election. What I say?
Very well.
And we should have that same feeling. You understand? But the Supreme Court ruled, Supreme Court, and almost say the election stand 7-0. And we've accepted it.
His Excellency Amanebobia ya put it together at the chair for and yet here for about Niabebuno Noka, the Ado Makomasho, Nia Ghana for Eka. And it's also no appear consistently or Casa Hodwa Yana Ghana for engaging Titru a year you seek asem. The crowd will be crowded. I heard you say Krumaya ship. Tibabia Befabia no be issue. Utie Omo Abem, no more Casafa, Yesika. One say, a man saying in a sofa say, Yadia could you will coronavirus aba. A bubu be a pre-amanisika Samaya bete. Ghana so and the moon shroom. Inti, I didn't change now be a person he put a blame no, and the big go ban so if COVID into Namana Bassa. Sa argument, Rodri was say, and I feel so. Say Wokasa Mugusuka says Sikasem Ayabasa. How different is it from a brand now year campaign?
Sikasem Ayabasa, even before COVID. Yeah, the COVID catastrophe is like using COVID as a cover-up. Before COVID, na Ghana economy no enkoye. Finance Minister Mekabium, he's been cooking the books. Hey. I've said this several times. He should sue me or anything. He's been cooking the books. He doesn't give the right picture of the economy. Liability say energy sector debt, banking sector cleanup. Enfant can't deficit no. He puts it as a footnote. And he say, oh, your deficit is 6%. It's because huge liability items no or the you know, and he's done that for a long time. Into your Fitch rating, Moody's rating, it looks like the economy is doing well. What I say, and no, because say BBC and COVID, and I say there's an asteroid that hits the earth or something. Now, economy at Tepansa across the world. Ghana can survive for 6 months. Could we survive for 6 months? It means that we're living a lie. What I say, within 2 weeks, our economy was in ICU. And IMF money this economy would have crashed. And that is because they are borrowing for only consumption. Between 2016, 120 billion debt and Amoje, you've taken us to 375 billion in 4.5 years. And the question is, it's only for consumption. What have you seen in terms of, say, major infrastructure a year? You know, you can say, you know, that money has been invested for future generations. And the point is, Oma mortgage BBR, get fund maker say, the next 15 years, 60% of get fund Oma mortgage. ESLA, yen year buy to pay off the energy sector debt. It was supposed to be for 5 years. Into by now, Anka ESLA no, would have been taking it off the petrol price. Anka petrol price they do 6.9 no. Anka ye ESLA if you it will bring the petrol price down and give people relief. When him say your mortgage ESLA till 2035. Until 2035, any future government that comes cannot take ESLA off because they've taken the money for it already. And so you have to keep paying ESLA. Your money, your nana, baby, by 2035, you won't be near. But you people have to continue paying till 2035. And so you may ESLA for you. You know? Or say, or buy, my father I didn't inherit anything from my father. It's not true. Or buy a sinking fund. We had more than $200 million in it. I could have spent that money. But I knew that Kufuor's Eurobond, we were supposed to retire it in 2017. Until if another government came, if we didn't put the money aside, of course, we expected we'll win the election, so it would have made it easier for us. But they won, and so we had left that money there. And so they took it and paid off the Kufuor Eurobond. That was a government that was thinking forward. Ghana Infrastructure Fund, you jab $250 million home for leveraging investment into healthcare, into infrastructure development. We left that money there. Ask them what they did with it. Stabilization fund, and Yesika Yeja was stabilization fund. And COVID by government had no money to do anything. We told them go to the stabilization fund and take money and start doing something against COVID. Until IMF and World Bank brought the 1 billion and the 400 million. What I say? So we had a vision for this country. And the point is, the economy, you cannot build it overnight. You have to build on what somebody left you. What I say? But and then you go on a huge consumption spree, and that is what they've done.
It must see Papa.
Oh yes, I think that the foundation we left him. We left him 2 new oil wells. Yeah, Ejuma now was with 1 oil field, Jubilee. Yeah. That was our only source of oil revenue. Yeah. Obaye, I had given him Sankofa oil field and 10 field. Yeah. So 3 oil wells. He's got more money from oil than any government in the history of Ghana. And so I said, what have they done with all that money? Okay. It's all gone into consumption. Okay.
And another interesting bit, and Mamenka I heard for near T4 say, and I'm saying you work Greater Accra region, and His Excellency Greater Accra regional tour. Manya a lot of concerns. Free T4 near her for say the next question on be answer. Mr. Money Remoga will find a few Remoga. Kakra with here. 80 I came out dream I could see a band with a tram card. They are tied to no say about addition honsema. Oh, I had there or the fear such about. But I said my quabe bone of contention that was a danya hodo amusi say suku dan saying kayeme ebekum. And here we are, ya say omo mo abemo kase look. Eba nya wuja na wuja 29. No mobile no meti be we abe over 30 crampo ekonenim. So meaning say what you left was few. Eti wo ama no won kran kase mo no de na wo kafa ho. I know my MP will whip me honorable as an actor Rollins. So that's how to be away.
Inele Ebawa because when the encho bukum sani acho bukum ni maye come if you dani ma ye gra kodiga nga aba si mento manga wo gamefe ni bon otui ayedio
Sanya menkuau
mento manga fiamo mene oba she Power FM Studios ni one ton woda gamefe shi Greater Accra fan one time woda nyeshi ake last election ni wo fon chiki nyewa wa ni wo ye Greater Accra region by 76,000 votes. Or not 6 seats or Kefitai. Well, you are done. Agbo. Wait a minute, fancy. Yeah, trust.
And you are done.
And so I say me are okay.
Yes.
And now me running mate. I call your program be at University of Ghana. And your vice president and so by. You see, the problem with Sir Abayin is Makase, one of the major damages on my to Ghana is that you have to be interested in leaders beyond. Because social promises are almost promises be brave, they've not been able to achieve anything. We've done 4,620 projects in Greater Accra. We've done this. And trying to make us and trauma, let me use the right word, it's lies. And trying to meaning some or university and answer, oh, join the party no now, and trying to because the leaders themselves are lying. What do I say? I say about me, Obwa. Would they Google Napo NDC finished only 46 community schools.
Yes.
When we handed over, in the handing over notes, we said we finished 46. We completed them. I commissioned, I alone, answer na mefia by more. I commissioned 36. Meko personally, I commissioned 36 of them. And ebi yede enkwada ekomu. Ebi so you couldn't send children in because you have to wait for the academic year to start. Into ebi near complete it, but na enkwada enkomu. You know, Greater Accra Frafraha, the school there. I commissioned it personally. It's working. Kwabinya, me na mko commission here. Into would you Google Napo handing over notes I demand 46 on one kasa nekai or CNDC completed only 46. Into say vice president Ebeka say you completed 29 after him okay 29. You know, then it means even between them, you understand, somebody is lying. You understand? And I believe that he is lying.
That's based on the Napodi Kaka, which is
based on even what I commissioned myself. I commissioned more than 30.
Okay.
It is a vice president Kaka say we completed only 29 chess or one. You understand? And Napo himself, from our handing over notes, he said we completed only 46. And he said, vice president Kaka say we completed only 29. You know, and 30 or Kaka say moment complete. You know, it was the World Bank ones. We had 2 categories. We awarded 50 on Get Fund. And then we awarded 23. World Bank Maesika for an extra 23. And no Sikane da Bank of Ghana. Into ye Juma near Chauka. The other 50, no, it was Get Fund that was paying. Into ye Juma, now the certificate kwa. A check Accra, and now and contempt to say World Bank there, no. But ye wa bemo, what the certificate ba, a check Accra near Chauka. No asa anko toa with Juma so. After you fear bemo, no. Those that were on the Get Fund, you know, this government stopped paying the contractors. They said we're going to audit them. And for a long time, now Obia and Kojuma, everybody was certain. You understand? And they continued the World Bank ones, because World Bank ones in the Nasikadaho. You understand? So when they come and say we completed 30, they are talking mostly of the World Bank ones. Na Yenyaji Sikano Abetoho. You understand? But most of those are awarded under Get Fund. They mortgage the Get Fund, 60% of Get Fund. 1.5 billion. And so for the next 15 years, the amount of money that is left in the Get Fund is only about 40% of the Get Fund. Contractors to complete those schools. That's the problem. And the 1.5 billion, they are using to build 14 secondary schools.
Okay.
You see, and the thing is, most countries, free SHS is working.
Yeah.
It's based on a day school model. You understand? Free SHS is difficult to work when you have a boarding system like Ghana has. And what we said was, let's build more day schools so that it can absorb some of the children and give them education, and then would limit those under the boarding system. So we're going to have a combination of day and boarding, which will ease the pressure on AE. What you are saying? And so we day schools now, Now you're going to build 14 new super complex boarding schools to add to the burden of the boarding schools we have already. No one can say, oh, you be a new super complex boarding school, you be a super complex boarding school, but we're decentralizing secondary education and taking it to the doorsteps of the people. We call a northern region, is it Wapuli or somewhere? We finished one of the schools there. One day I was passing, and the children had closed school. And they were coming from school and going back to their community. The community is about 1 kilometer away. Maybe were on their bicycles, others were walking, the children were conversing and going back to it. It looked beautiful. Maybe they blocked my convoy. I don't know, you must have seen it in a video. I think it was sometime, during the 2016 campaign, But that was one of the schools that had been completed and children were in the school, Wow. And their whole concept of the free SHS, that's why we're having problems. I told the I say, then they have to come back home. Then they say this gold track come, green track, green from you understand? If we had finished more of the day schools, it would have eased the pressure on the existing secondary schools. Okay. So that we probably would not have had to have this double track.
Maminya quick follow-up, and Minim said that you heard from Bibriakumaso. And now you fix the country for a year, and you have some other domano. What does Nyaye Kumusisieno? A chef said ye a bang bibeba. Now why a Japadia Magana? Any here say, I was say, yet one.
Yeah, no, they can't share with you.
Okay, so
Napo,
yeah, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. NDC built only 46 community day senior high school. Opoku Prempeh.
After Vice President, so say
Vice President say 30 now.
Or 29?
29. And yes.
So who is telling the truth?
Yeah, but to Ghana. Yes, sure.
And then this is the list of 36 that were commissioned before I left office.
Okay.
Minsumechiobia na madam wase say mama ya kwenya ye kwaye ba ha moje na bibia so akoyi say dia na ye pe no enkosi enkowie pe na nsoso ni nyina enyame asem.
That's right.
Efa no sa blocks ene ye wie san ena wo mo wie san efi aban mu emfi enum ni ntimi ya na me won po say sankomo na yedi ma menya mfato ho kakra ebi ni se o papa se obesi dan edu ena enum de owieye abibia wom se bibia obeda be waduane asaso waye bibia manipa mpotitim na enum na aka no ebi wo ho na anka de aka ne se obepenti ebi wo ho ne aka ne se wo betwe kane akom ebi nso ho de aka ne se bi obetwe nsu akom ananso so waboso kura wie na akasa ebi a odi nua na guso akasa odi nchansi ni beguso enti wo bewie eno no sa no a na wo kasa wo me papa sie enum nsumi sie enum na nya no kresem na wo ka no sa free SHS a ya ka wo asem sa anka so mu say ya no ya concept no first you have to conceive of it aden na wo si school no ehe na schools no udi besisi drawings na be say ansa na wako sketches no so we are by a model no say school na si ho a etesen ne fetisen unu say mofra pade efe e bia no mu nim so hwe papa enso mu du ho mbe hu ansa mu say school no blocks say na mehia to be fra quantity surveyor no wa hwe design nyina no we break ni nyina down owi a waka say school no kra me de besi hi ye kona nanom nan so sabe ministry of education de oni asase nanom so mefa we so na mada o mase omo man asase na ansa na wobeka se aden kura ne bo be yesen menye sika efisen efihin sika no fa be fi Ghana government ho na bi nso so ebekwa akobobo se ekọ World Bank ekokojiska na World Bank de no ye the entire model baby headmaster dan wo baby a flats wo workshop wo bibia sa no ye de e-blocks no starter na obi foforo ba wo so dan ho na beko ha headmaster dan beko nya se be basa enti enu ni sa no ma mi na sa na wi a why advertisement why advertisement am for apply
procurement
contracts no ya award
yeah
ansa no mom seed money no ma ko site o mom sod Nti we build from scratch. Nti mo bi anka say ye complete ye.
But
ye complete 10 na mo so be complete. Wo ba na same de no, de aka ne say wo be painter. Untimi nka say wo ye 10 na me so me ye 10.
But at the end you bet my sec Ghana, His Excellencies. Then you bet my so my Ghana said by asadi we NCBU say aban bi ba no ye project bia e be ye nhye send your ba no beto aso. I know the 1992 conspiracy.
Aban kwa ni husa. Nanado aban kwa ni husa.
Don't fall for it.
Every Rollins abreso. Kufo beje Rollins, what they say and you may be an Rollins say ojato.
Okay.
All those who were working contractors, omokosu ye juma. Those who finish. Those who didn't finish, maybe I terminating na yama obi for abeto aso ana bibi. Kufo fi aban mo atamils buy.
Yeah.
What they say atamils eja kufo ejuma bi eto ho. We didn't hear anything like that. What I say, it is known. And yeah, essentially for put the blame where it matters. And yes, I'm buying for ban, and it's happening now to this government. Memaka say